Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the webinar on recent updates on social impact assessment. Due to unavoidable circumstances, our speaker for today's webinar, Mr. Sachin Jain, could not join us. However, we have with us Mr. Parag Jain. He is also from BSc India. He is a manager, listing and compliance. He has almost 14 years of experience in secretarial, IPO, debt listing, legal and compliance in diverse sectors such as agriculture, FMCG, pharma, e-commerce, railway, power and infrastructure. He was also associated with Waycool Food and Products, an agri-tech company, MedPlus Health Services, Pharma Retail, and L&T Metro Rail Hyderabad Limited. We welcome you, sir. Paragji, over to
Thank
you
you.
now for the webinar.
Thank you very much. And I welcome all for this webinar. I hope my audio is clear to everybody.
Yes, sir.
Okay, let's begin. So let me give a very brief introduction about the Social Stock Exchange. So in 2019-20, our Honorable Finance Minister, Ms. Nirmala Sitharaman, in his budget speech in 1920, has proposed an idea to give an electronic fundraising platform called Social Stock Exchange under the regulatory ambit of SEBI for listings of social enterprises and voluntary organizations working for the realization of social welfare objective so that they can raise capital. So basically, the finance minister wants to have a platform where uh, SSOs, NPOs can raise funds using the exchange platform and for better visibility and for better fundraising capital. So just want to give you a brief of BSE, Bombay Stock Exchange. It's a 150-year-old legacy with trust and credibility. We started our SSE Social Stock Exchange segment in 2023. We have two listed entities and approximately 74 NGOs or non-profit organizations which are registered with us. And these registered and listed NPOs are spread across 12 domains and 18 cities across 12 states. So let's move on to what recent regulatory changes which happened by the SEBI. One of the regulatory changes was the scope of providing a scope of NPOs for social stock enterprises. Like there are list of activities which a social enterprise can do. These are the list of activities. For example, like eradicating hunger, poverty, and malnutrition, promoting healthcare, including mental health care. These are the items which has already been there. So what new amendment says is include Schedule 7 of the Companies Act 2013, which talks about CSR related requirements, where these are where certain sections where companies are allowed to do CSR activities. So in order to broaden the scope of social enterprises, they have included the definition that whatever activities is provided in the Schedule 7 of the Companies Act is also covered and can be used for NPOs. So this regulation, this amendment was came on September 8, 2025. So moving on to the next regulatory changes. This is majorly on the registration part. Earlier, the tenure for the validity of registration of social enterprise was 1 year. That has been extended to 2 years. However, there is one condition which was given now, introduced by the SEBI, that in this 2 years period of time, the NPO has to raise some funds from the public and get it listed. So there's a difference. One is registration, one is getting list. One is doing the fundraising and getting listed. So what happened is currently NPOs are getting registered with the social stock exchanges, but they are not doing anything to do fundraising activity or getting listed with the social. With an intent and with to encourage the social enterprises, has introduced this amendment that whomsoever is registered with the social stock exchange has to mandatorily raise funds, and get listed with the social stock exchange within 2 years from the date of registration. The next is who all can be registered in the social enterprises. So they broadened the definition where they included charitable society also, which are registered in the Indian Trust Act, Society Registration Act, which is covered under either a central or state government. And also Section 8 companies also they've included in the part of definition of social enterprise who can register with social stock exchanges. Rest is, I think you're already aware, they need to be a society trust. They should have a track record of 3 years. They should have a valid 12A, 12AA, 12AB, or 10 registration for at least next 12 months. They should have a valid ATG certification registrations and a Durban ID. So these are the one of the requirements for getting your social enterprises registered with the social stock exchanges. Now, another part is, I think I'm sure you're aware that the Central Board of Taxes has also recognized subscription of ZCZP, which is called zero coupon, zero principal bonds, which which will be eligible for ATC exemptions. This was intimated to SEBI by CBDT on April 2024. So any NPO means not profit organizations, are issuing ZCZP, this is zero coupon, zero principal bond, is eligible under IT Act to issue ATG certificate. Now moving on to important part is what is the social impact assessment? Social impact assessment as per SEBI ICDR framework refers to a structured process mandated by SEBI for entities listed or registered with social stock exchanges to measure and disclose social outcomes of their activities. Now, to simplify, any non-profit organizations which are raising funds from the public for their social impact, there has to be some mechanism where you can measure that whatever fund has been raised is actually giving a visible, tangible, and intangible results in terms of social impact. But like social, they are actually making some impact in the social. So they are making some kind of a social impact with the funds they raised. Now, when we say social impact assessment, so who can do the social impact assessment? One is the social impact assessor. Now, who can be a social impact assessor? Individual which is registered under ICAI or any other agency as specified by SEBI, and also who has qualified a certification program conducted by National Institute of Securities Market, which is NISM, and holds a valid certificate. Now, there was one earlier, there was one more definition called social impact assessment firm. So now they have introduced one more term called social impact assessment organization, wherein any entity which employed social impact assessor with a track record of minimum 3 years. for conducting social impact assessment, or who have an entity who have employed at least 2 full-time social impact assessor with an experience of minimum 3 years in conducting social impact shall sign social impact assessment report. Now, these are the disclosures which is required to be given by the not-profit organizations. One is the annual disclosure, which is disclosure of general and governance aspects that are not dependent on statutory financial audit under Form 1A. Earlier, the not-for-profit organization is required to submit this report within 60 days from the end of the financial year. With the new amendment, you need to submit this report within 60 days. Now, the second point, the changes which is there is a collective change. Second is the annual disclosure, which is in Form 1B. This is regarding disclosure of general governance and financial aspects that has reference to audited financial statements and filings with income tax, FCRA, charity commissioner, etc. That also is required to be submitted within 60 days from the end of the financial year. Now, with the recent amendment, this has been extended to 31st October of each year, or filing of annual return, income tax return, whichever is later. Next is annual impact report under Form 2.1 and annual social impact assessment, which is under Form 3.1. That also needs to be submitted annually. Earlier, this is supposed to be submitted within 90 days from the end of the financial year. Now this has been extended to October 31st of each year, or before due date of filing of income tax return, whichever is later. Rest are, there are no changes, but we have kept it for the purpose of information of the audience. Statement of utilization of funds to social stock exchange by listed not-for-profit organizations. That has to be given within 45 days from the end of the quarter and to be submitted by the listed NPO. Another one was formation of materiality policy, which has to be disclosed with social stock exchanges. This has to be given upon listing, and therefore, whenever, as and when there is an amendment happen, we need to give that amendment. Next is any event that has a material impact, event-based. So within 7 days, if any material event happens with the social stock exchange, that is supposed to be intimated to the intimated by the not-for-profit organization. Next is statement of utilization of funds by social stock by to SSE by listed NPO. This has to be submitted quarterly, that is within 45 days from the end of the quarter. The next is statement of utilization of funds. This is, I think, same point. Now, these are the changes which we were discussing earlier. So earlier it was organizational, or earlier Form 1A and 1B is required to be submitted within 60 days. For listed projects, within 45 days, you need to give the utilization of funds. Within 90 days, you need to give audited annual impact report and annual social impact assessment report to be, and that annual social impact assessment reports to be assessed by social audit firm employing social auditor. Now, this social auditor definition has been changed to social impact assessor. So, as I was discussing, the disclosure has been bifurcated. Non-financial disclosures you need to give within 60 days, and the financial related disclosures you need to give by 31st October, or due date of income tax return, whichever is later. And one more point is annual social impact assessment report will be assessed by the impact assessment organization or the social impact assessor employing for the listed projects and shall be self-certified for non-listed projects. Now, next point is about the social auditors, social impact assessors. So, in the last amendment, which happened in December 2023, SEBI has introduced a concept called social impact assessment firm and social impact assessor to replace the concept of social auditor. Now, the annual impact report was assessed by the social impact assessment firm, employing social impact assessor for social auditors. And NISM was conducting an exams for providing certification for employing social impact assessors. Social impact assessment firms shall employ these certified social impact assessors for doing the assessment of annual impact report. These are the amendments that happened in December 2023. Now in September 2025, they have introduced one definition called social impact assessment organization, where any entity which has employed social impact assessor with a track record of minimum 3 years in conducting social impact assessment or employed at least 2 full-time social impact assessors, each with a minimum experience of 3 years in conducting social impact assessment, who shall sign the social assessment report. Now, these are some of the disclosures which the not-for-profit organization has to give. One is this annual disclosure, which covers the general aspects of the not-for-profit organization, like name of the organization, location of the headquarters, and location of operations, vision, mission, and purpose, organizational goals, activities, products, and services, scale of operations, including employee and voluntary strength. With regard to governance aspect, ownership and legal form, governance structure, details of governing body, including names of the members of the body, executives with the key responsibilities, number of meetings held by the governing body and other committees, organizational level potential risk and mitigation plans, mechanism for advice and concerns about ethics, organization registration certificate, others licensing certifications. These are some of the annual disclosures which has to be given by not-for-profit organization. Whenever a social impact assessment happens, the social impact assessor has to keep in mind a lot of things, like what's the social intent given in the DFRD document, that is called draft fundraising document. Then there's a terminology called logic scope model, where the NPOs has given a schedule of events along with the impact. The social impact assessor has to check that activity, whether they're following that logic model or not, whether the funds what is being raised are being used in the purpose which has been defined in the draft of a document, on the offer document. Then what are the financial benefits? What are the social benefits people are getting because of this activities? What are the processes followed? What are the corporate governance modules? These are the activities which a social impact assessor has to check when they are doing this assessment activity. And also, the impact assessor also needs to interact with the trustees on whether the project is giving the required outcome or not. Sorry. Excuse me. So what is the scope and objectives of the social impact assessment which you are doing? Then what are the approach and methodologies you are following for doing the impact assessment? This is something you can, the SEBI has prescribed Form 3.1 for the social impact assessors to describe comprehensively what to be done and what to collect the information from the for the totals and various KPIs which needs to be collected. Then what are the stakeholders? What needs to be discussed in that, along with what consultation and representation have been there. And based on that, they need to give the social assessment report. So that's about this regulatory change with regard to social impact assessment report. And this is a very exciting topic to discuss and understand on this, and which is getting traction from various people. And you're free to approach the social stock exchange to have any further questions on this.
So this is it, sir. I mean, you'll be taking some more topic, or
I think the no, this is we are through on this. I think Sachin Jain was having. Sorry for that, Sachin sir was actually discussing these topics. So I just thought to give a very broader overview of the social impact assessment.
Any which ways, apologies that Sachin sir could not join. We'll be taking next session with him. So thank you,
Sure.
Parag sir, for taking time out and taking our webinar on the going concern mode rather. Otherwise, we would have to cancel this. So thanks a lot. Thanks to BSc for giving us this time. Thank you so much. Thanks to all the participants. Oh, I think Justin Jain sir is there. Let me add him. Jaswant sir, are you there? So thank you so much. Thanks to everyone.
Thank you.
So we'll just end the meeting. Thank you.
Thanks.